Hey, John here, and this is the Fuji X20, and in this video I'm going to go ahead and show you, go through the menu system with you and explain what each item is. So the camera's already on here, I have it in program, so it's going to give me access to a lot of the menu. If you push the middle button here, the menu OK button, that'll open up the menu. On the left hand side, if you can use these buttons as arrow buttons, up, down, left, right. If you go to the left, you'll have the shooting menu, which is divided into 4 pages, and then the setup menu, which is divided into 3 pages. And in order to move from the shooting menu to the setup menu, you do have to go to the left and then down. It won't let you, for whatever reason, go from one to the other if you don't do that. So on the first page here is your ISO settings. You can go through, either set it on the automatic ISO settings, or you can just choose your own. Below that is image size, which is currently set to RAW. If I change my image quality from RAW to, say, fine JPEG, then I can go back up here to image size and change that to different sizes or ratios or whatever I want to do. Next is dynamic range, which is how spread out the exposure is. You know, do dark areas still have detail? Do light areas still have detail? That's your film simulation, which you can see in another video about exactly how to use that. That's the bracketing for the film simulation. Color, sharpness, highlight tone, shadow tone, noise reduction. These are all basically kind of things that can be done, types of filters or applications that can be done to the picture to help process it to make it look a little better. Intelligent digital zoom is where the camera will allow you to zoom in on the digital photo rather than optically zoom with the lens. That reduces, it's basically just cropping the photograph, so I really don't recommend using that. Below that, that's currently out, is advanced anti-blur, which I believe only works with JPEGs. Face detection I really like on this camera. I recommend you keep it on. It does a really good job of detecting and focusing on face as well. Your different autofocus modes, your manual focus assist modes, which is you want to really use focus peaking, highlight, and turn it on high, so that way you can get an outline of everything in the frame to make it easier when you're using manual focus to see what's in focus and what's not. This is your function button custom setting. Right now, let's see, that's your function button right there. So you can change it to different things. Right now it's on ISO, but you can do all these different things. But I recommend using ISO. It's really the most convenient thing. Right now I believe I have the camera set for a custom setting. And when you do display a custom setting on the screen here, you are saying, okay, well, when I'm using the LCD, when I'm using the LCD, what do I want to see? What things do I want to see on the screen? And you can check or uncheck different things, and you can see I have a few things unchecked here that I don't really care about, or I don't really need to know. But it's customizable, so it's pretty nice. Now you can see I'm also using the back button as I go back through the menu, and everything is usually put here and is pretty obvious. So here's your flash exposure compensation if you're using your flash, which is popped up right here, and it's coming out a little bit too bright or too dark. You would go here and go up or down. If you have an external flash, then you can control it from that next menu item. Here is where you would do a custom set for the C1 and C2 modes, which I have a video about that. And then below that is choosing between the optical viewfinder, the OVF, or the LCD, which is the screen right here. And right now it's set to just LCD, I believe because of one of the settings I changed. Let's see here, it's on macro, that's why. So if I go back to the menu, now I have the option, it's not grayed out anymore, and I can put it on the eye sensor. So that way I put my eye up to the sensor here, and the screen turns off, because it knows I'm using the viewfinder, or the rangefinder. For the setup menu, it's pretty straightforward. Date and time, time difference, which is a little weird. So I guess it's for use if you're traveling. Language, this is the reset for basically everything on almost everything on the camera. This is silent mode, which you can access by holding down the display and back button when you're just in shooting mode. So you can hold this down and the silent mode turns on. You can also hold it down and it'll turn back on. The beeping and everything. But you can access that through this setup menu as well. This is the focus control dial, which is this dial right here. You can actually choose whether it goes clockwise or counterclockwise. The manual focus check is, I believe, a zooming in of focusing when you're on manual, and I find it very annoying. I don't like it at all, but you might, so you can try it out. So sound, screen, power management, I just keep it on the efficient one, power save. High performance really isn't necessary. It kind of kills the battery prematurely, I think. Image stabilization, red eye removal, autofocus illuminator, which is this light right here. You can choose to whether or not that turns on or not, so in a dark situation, because it could be kind of bothersome. The autofocus and auto exposure lock mode, which is this button right here, you're choosing whether it's an on-off switch or it only works while you hold it down. Here you're choosing what this button does. Does it just do autofocus lock, auto exposure lock, or does it do both at the same time? Okay, so the next one is save data setup, which has a couple options for different ways of saving data. So the frame number, either continuously numbered or every time you have a new card or a new shooting day or whatever, it renews it. Saving the original image and different options for that, and then putting a date stamp on the photo if you want to. Focus scale units, so feet or meters. Custom reset, which any C1 or C2 mode you can reset them to their default. This is for using iFi wireless cards to transfer things, which it's compatible with, and I typically keep that off. It's a good idea, like you can just buy an iFi card, stick it in there, keep it in there all the time, and just keep this to off. And then when you actually want to use the Wi-Fi feature, just go in the menu, turn it on, and then you can transfer photos to your phone or whatever. The one below that is going to be format. Formatting will be erasing everything on your memory card. Format, erase all data. And right now, no, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to say cancel. Now the last menu is going to be the play menu, which is this the play button right here. Accesses all the photos that you've taken. You can see this is from one video I just did of doing macro focusing. Now there's a couple different options you have. Here you can zoom in with this plus button here. You can zoom out. And if you continue to zoom out, you can see multiple photos at once, which is pretty cool. In fact, you can go really, really far back, which is nice. Now in this mode, when you're in the picture review mode, if you push the menu button, you're going to get these two on the side here, these two playback menu options, as well as just the standard setup options that were already in the other menu. But in the playback options, you have Photo Book Assist, which is where you basically make a kind of photo book or slideshow inside the camera. Image search, so by the actual, you can search the images in your camera by different parameters. Erasing different things, marking for upload for different things. I mean, there's a lot of really nice things you can do in here. A slideshow, red eye removal. This raw conversion right here, that's going to be a different video, a whole video by itself, where it's basically you take a raw file that's in the camera and you're going to be converting it to a JPEG, and there's a lot you can do. It's kind of like having Lightroom already in the camera in a kind of more fundamental way. Here, if you want to protect images, you can make sure that they're not erased if the card is formatted in camera by going through here. Cropping, resizing, rotating, copying, or print orders if you do that kind of thing.